The roar of the crowd, the squeak of sneakers on hardwood, the dream every young player chases. But what happens when that dream collides with the nightmare of the undead? Before, how did I get here? That's the question that plays over and over in my head, even now. I was Ethan Cole, small town boy, American dream story. My dad poured a concrete slab in our driveway when I was 7 and stuck an old rusted rim on a wooden backboard. I must have taken 10,000 shots out there, through snow, rain, summer heat. My mom used to shout from the kitchen window to come inside before I froze, but I never listened. All I wanted was to hear the sound of the ball swishing through the net, that sweet rhythm that became my heartbeat. Everyone in town knew me, not because I was special, but because I was theirs. The kid who stayed after practice to sweep the gym floor, who worked double shifts in the summers to pay for his own sneakers, who never said no to the little kids who begged him to shoot hoops with them. Coaches said I had grit. My friends said I was born with ice in my veins. Reporters called me the small town star. And when I made it, when I walked out onto that NBA court for the first time, lights blinding, crowd roaring, I felt like I carried every single one of them with me. That night was supposed to be the biggest game of my career. Playoffs. Fourth quarter. We were down by 5. My jersey clung to my body, drenched with sweat, but I felt unstoppable. 20-5 points already. The commentator said I was carrying the team on my back, that this was the game where I'd cement my legacy. I could hear the crowd chanting my name, Cole, Cole, Cole. I remember jogging back on the fence, locking eyes with a little girl in the stands holding up a sign that said small town hero. She couldn't have been more than 8, face painted in team colors, smile wide as if she believed in me more than I did myself. I gave her a quick nod. That moment, that was the kind of thing I lived for. But then it hit. At first, I thought it was a cramp, a sharp twist in my stomach. I staggered mid-play, clutching at my side, but I tried to push through. I played through worse. Sprains, bruises, exhaustion. Pain was nothing new. But this was different. The ball slipped from my hands. The court tilted. My legs buckled, and I went down hard near half court. The crowd gasped. Teammates rushed over, shouting my name. The trainer slid in beside me, checking my pulse, my breath. I tried to tell them I was fine, but no words came out. My chest burned, then felt hollow. My heart, it just stopped, and the world went black. But death didn't hold. I woke up seconds later. At least, my body did. My eyes snapped open, but everything looked wrong. The lights above were bright, drilling into my skull. The squeak of shoes on hardwood shrieked like knives against glass. The smell of sweat, popcorn, the arena air, it twisted into something foul, something delicious. I looked at my teammates, at the trainer kneeling over me, and I didn't see friends anymore. I didn't see family. I saw meat. My mouth watered. My body moved on instinct. Hunger pulled me forward, and that's when I knew. Ethan Cole, the boy from the driveway, the golden boy of basketball, the small town hero. He died on that court. What stood up wasn't me. It was something else. During the moment I stood back up, the crowd didn't cheer. They screamed. I could hear every voice, every cry, clearer than I ever had before. Thousands of voices blended together into a wave of panic that made my head pound. But what cut through it all was the heartbeat of the man kneeling in front of me. The trainer died. It thudded like a drum in my skull, slow but strong, pumping blood through his veins. I could smell it, taste it, even before I touched him. He called my name, Ethan, Ethan, stay with me. But it was already gone. That name didn't belong to what I'd become. My body lunged before my mind could stop it. Teeth sank into his shoulder, warm blood flooding my mouth. The crowd roared in terror. His scream echoed across the court, bouncing off the rafters where minutes ago fans were chanting for me. Somewhere deep inside, I begged myself to stop. I was Ethan Cole, the guy who signed autographs for kids in the parking lot, who waved at fans on his way into the arena. I wasn't supposed to hurt anyone, but my body didn't care. My jaw locked tighter. My arms pulled him closer. The hunger was everything, and it drowned out my will like waves crashing against stone. Teammates shouted, "Get him off." What the hell's happening? I turned toward them, my lips slick with red, my stomach growling for more. Their faces were twisted in horror. Men who trusted me, sweated with me, battled with me night after night. Brothers, but all I could see was the veins in their necks, pulsing like neon signs. One of them tried to reach me, calling my name again. I lunged. He dodged back, eyes wide. I could feel their fear like heat radiating from them, and it pulled me forward, step by step. The arena descended into chaos. Fans surged toward the exits, trampling each other in blind panic. Ushers shouted, security guards wrestled with gates, but it was all too much. People screamed as bodies collided, falling over seats, crashing onto the hardwood floor. And there I was, standing at center court, the place I used to dominate, now a monster. Somewhere in the stands, I saw her, the little girl with the small town hero sign. She was still clutching it, even as her parents yanked her toward the exit. Her face wasn't smiling anymore. It was pale, her mouth open in a scream. Her wide eyes met mine, and for one split second, something broke through the hunger. I remembered my dad, standing at the edge of the driveway, clapping when I made a shot. I remembered kids running up to me after games, asking me to sign their hats. I remember the pride in my coach's eyes when I told him I'd never quit on the court. But the hunger didn't care. My legs moved, dragging me toward the stands, toward her, toward the scent of blood and fear. Every step felt like I was sinking deeper into quicksand. My humanity screaming in protest, but powerless to stop it. Security rushed me before I could reach her. One man swung a baton, hitting my arm. I barely felt it. Another tackled me low, but I dragged him down with me, teeth snapping inches from his throat. The crowd roared again, not in triumph, but in terror. And all I could think was, this was my court, my arena, my game. I used to control it with skill, discipline, precision. Now I controlled it with fear, with hunger, with death. I was the star again, but not the kind anyone wanted. During guilt and memory, the arena was empty now, except for the echoes of screams and the smell of blood that clung to my clothes, my skin, my mouth. The crowd had fled, leaving only the silence, a silence heavier than any timeout in the playoffs, heavier than the quiet of the locker room after a loss. I stumbled down the hallway behind the court, my legs moving faster than my mind, dragging me toward whatever came next. The hunger was relentless, gnawing at my stomach, my throat, my very bones. Every step screamed feed, feed, feed. But underneath the hunger, there was something else, something I hadn't expected. Guilt, shame. I remembered the little girl in the stands, her sign, small town hero. Her eyes had looked straight at me, and for a heartbeat, I had seen myself reflected in her gaze. The boy who dreamed of making it to the NBA, the son who worked late nights in the driveway, the kid who wanted to give hope to everyone who believed in him. And now, all I could feel was the taste of blood in my mouth, the heat of panic under my skin, the knowledge that I could never go back. I passed the locker room. My old locker stared at me. I remember the nights I'd stayed late, taping my ankles, practicing free throws until my wrists burned. I remembered laughing with my teammates, celebrating victories, sharing moments of brotherhood that now felt like someone else's memory. Each step I took, each person I passed in the shadows, reminded me of who I had been. I wanted to stop. I wanted to plead with them to run, to promise them that I didn't mean this. But the growl that ripped from my throat was not mine. My body betrayed me. I reached the storage closet and collapsed against the wall. My chest heaved, my head spun. I remembered my first all-star game, the way my parents had cheered in the stands, proud of the kid from a small town who had made it. I remembered signing autographs for hours, smiling for photos, shaking hands with fans who looked at me like I was something bigger than myself. And now, I was nothing. The hunger called again. My hands twitched, reaching for a nearby janitor, an unfortunate soul cleaning the floor. My mind screamed stop. My body lunged, teeth sank into flesh. I tasted it and wanted to spit, to throw up, to scream at myself, but the hunger overpowered everything. Tears burned in my eyes. I wanted to remember that I was Ethan Cole, not this thing. I wanted to hold on to the memories, the drive, the hope, the pride, but each feed pulled me further away from myself. I wandered the halls of the arena for hours, or maybe minutes. Time was meaningless now. Every encounter was the same, instinct pushing me forward, my mind screaming don't, my body tearing and snapping. Every scream from someone running, every cry for help, echoed in my skull like a reminder of what I had become. Somewhere deep down, a part of me still hoped that someone would recognize me, call my name, understand that the person they saw was gone, but the soul inside still fought. I remembered my dad, waving from the driveway, proud. I remembered the small town gym, the sound of the ball hitting the rim perfectly. I remembered the little girl, the one who had believed in me. The guilt settled heavier than hunger. I couldn't stop feeding, but I hated every second. Each bite, each snap of the jaw was punishment. Each scream I heard was my own, echoing inside. And yet, I knew this was my new reality. I had become what I had feared most, a predator, a monster in my own arena. Every memory of being Ethan Cole, son, player, hero, was now a ghost trapped inside this rotting body. I had survived my first night, died my first feeding, but I wasn't alive and I wasn't dead. I was trapped in guilt, in hunger, in memories I could never fully embrace again. And in that silence, I swore to myself, if my body was this, my mind would fight until the end. If there was a chance to remember who I was, to cling to Ethan Cole, I would, even if it meant resisting the hunger for as long as I could. Even heroes can fall, and sometimes even legends aren't spared by the hunger. This has been Whispers Between Worlds. We upload horror daily, and every soul has a story to tell, even after death.